So, 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated the island of Puerto Rico.
Surrounded by big water, don't forget.
Big water. Big water. The current White House resident dropped in for a tour of the damage. And he tried to put a positive spin on things. Take a look.
Every death is a horror. But if you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, and you look at the tremendous hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that died, and you look at what happened here with really a storm that was just totally overpowering. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. Now, what is your death count as of this moment? 17?
16 certified.
16 people certified. 16 people versus in the thousands.
So putting all our personal feelings about the guy aside, how do you think he's handling this? Is he trying to reassure people that things are going to be taken care of?
You know, all I can say is that Rex Tillerson, his own Secretary of State, called him a moron. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
Being reported.
I mean...
Well,
even Nixon and
although
Kissinger.
He's denied it since,
do you remember Nixon and Kissinger knelt down to pray together? Baker saved George Bush's presidency. This guy's calling the president a moron. That's what we're dealing with.
Well, I feel like in times of devastation, the bar is very low for what a president needs to do. They need to show up. They need to do a lot of hugging, letting people know help is on the way. We're here for you. We support you. A lot of listening because people aren't feeling heard, especially specifically Puerto Rico feeling like they're an island that in some ways isn't getting what they need. That's all you got to do. I've been trying to watch.
You shouldn't throw paper towel into the audience of people that are
probably one of the lesser moves that.
But that interested me. I have to say, pardon me for interrupting you. Does he really think like the paper towels are to sop up the flood? What was he thinking?
I don't know what he was thinking.
Where is his
I was
head?
so offended by that. I mean, you know,
are we something it's like party favors or something good? You're looking at people that are devastated, that can't find water, can't find food, and you're throwing the basic needs at them. But I tried to pause for the most part because I find that every time he does something, right away it's easy to react with, oh, here he goes again.
Yeah.
I paused. And then that happened.
And then he threw the paper towel.
Well, no, even the comparing the devastation of lives. When you turn to someone and you're looking at this country who has lost people that they don't even know what the future will look like. They don't even know how they'll rebuild. And you say, yeah, what's the death toll? Like you don't use deaths as a talking point.
Can I say this about the death toll? I mean, FEMA has indicated that the death toll has risen by 30 to 34. And what you have to understand is since Maria hit landfall, almost 2 weeks ago, that means all of those additional deaths were preventable. And what I listen to is people that I trust, like Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay and I work together at CNN. He's been on the ground for quite some time. And what he reported yesterday was that people are dying. And the question is, was aid received soon enough? He also said that many of the most vulnerable citizens are at risk, mostly due to a failure of timely coordinated response by authorities. And so that falls, in my view, squarely on President Trump's shoulders.
Also, didn't you say that the people in ICU died?
Yes, people in ICU at one hospital. By the way, all the hospitals aren't up. All the Army bases aren't up. They died in the ICU. Yeah. Every single patient died. Because there's no generator.
He is, he's not a fan of his coverage, his reviews for today. And he says, great day in Puerto Rico yesterday. Well, some of the news coverage is fake. Most showed great warmth and friendship. Sir, it's on tape. Yeah. You're being criticized because people are seeing what you said. They're not making it up. You're not a cartoon there. Yeah. That's you. That's you throwing towels to people and saying dumb stuff like, in a real catastrophe. It's a little island, man. And the worst hurricane anyone has seen came through there and devastated. Now, yeah, Katrina was devastated, but you also had a landmass. Yeah. An island,
You had
you can't go.
resources you could
You're
get to.
surrounded, man. Come on, don't do that.
so much
You
of
know, a
these
lot of his, I
problems
believe his supporters will see it completely differently. They'll see him throwing the paper towels as a gesture of friendliness and, like, you know, I'm coming to the island.
cleanliness, did you say?
Friendliness. That's what I think he's thinking. Clean it up.
Yeah.
But I think they see it as a friendly gesture that he's being lighthearted in a
Wasn't it
terrible
so inappropriate?
situation.
Is it just me?
Everybody
Wasn't it
sees things in their own way.
I don't know if I would.
seemed very
I think
inappropriate.
You got to, even though it seems like people follow him everywhere. I think when people watch this, just as a human, like when you see that, I cringed instantly at the thought of you're looking at people who have lost lives, and you're saying in a real disaster, and that was his words, not mine, that there were more lives lost. To look at the people that are reporting, saying we need to hear from you, our people need to know what you're doing. That it really.
But he also said, thanks, Puerto Rico, you've thrown our budget out of whack.
Yeah.
He also,
Okay,
he also
his
said
supporters
that.
would say he was kidding. I'm just saying what they tell you.
I don't know.
They would say
I
he was
think
kidding.
people like when you're blaming them.
No.
You don't pick
for
people
stuff.
while they're down. Like, you don't go in there and start talking about budgets when these people need water and food and medical care. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is what they're saying. He's being lighthearted. I was reading the other side.
Well, we got to
He's
work on that then,
lighthearted.
because it's
You
not
know,
very
there's a
good.
time for lighthearted and there's a time for not. And being on an island that's devastated and people are dying, I don't think funny is really the direction you want to go.
No.
But who am I? I'm just a weird. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.